And here we go. That's right. It is Wednesday, August 31st, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you.
What is going on,
Can you believe it's 31st day of August?
The season starts in
Summer's
2 days.
over, baby.
Summer's over. Michigan State college football season starts Saturday. Technically, it already started. We saw, obviously, with Nebraska choosing to go for two or choosing the onside kick. Excuse me, Scott Frost. I don't know why he's still the coach. But the season has started. College football started. NFL starts next week. Hard Knocks wrapping up next week as well. The cuts have been made. We have the 53-man roster. We, my friend, plural, because Maz is over there on the couch as you see him soon. We're almost there, buddy.
Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hello, friends. It's good to be here on, we can call it Black Wednesday, only because of the cuts yesterday, but now a brand new life for these guys.
Why it's got to be Black Wednesday?
Well.
Why it's got to be Black Wednesday?
Well,
just messing with you, man.
You know, it is, not to be a total downer, but, you know, watching Hard Knocks last night, and of course we're going to have Pat Harris, assistant director from NFL Films, HBO Hard Knocks, join us in about
Ryan
10 minutes
Gosling,
from now. Yeah,
there you go.
It is one of those things when you're watching that and you see them in the locker room after the Pittsburgh game, somebody's life, a lot of people's life is about to change, either for the better or for the worse. Most of those guys for the worse.
Yeah, you know, it's always a sad time around this time. I used to hate it this time when I was playing in the NFL because you know what guys aren't going to make it, and even the guys that you don't know. When it happens, you know, you're sad. You build these relationships. You know, that's one thing the kind of coaches tell you, individual position coaches, hey, you know, don't get too close to guys that may not be here. You know, you don't want that to interrupt the flow of your season, interrupt the flow of the start of your season. But it's hard to do, Ryan. Like, we're human. You know, you kick it with guys in OTAs and, you know, spring camp, you make friends, you guys hang out a little bit. You know, you guys may go to movies together, you might hang out, go to clubs, you might travel a little bit. And you practice together, you watch film together, you study together. And when that individual gets cut, whether it's 1 year, it's 2 years, whatever, like a little bit of you leaves each year. So it is a tough time of year. It takes a strong resolve and mental.
Practice squad players are being released here and there. We got them. Right now we've got 5 players on the practice squad. We'll go over all of that with you guys. But the Lions, all those guys that they released yesterday, those players, and there was a bunch of them, 27. And then today, number 28 was David Blough. Only one of them was picked up by another NFL club.
So we were wrong all along. Is that fair to say? I will speak for myself. I thought the Lions were going to cut players, plural, that were going to wind up on other NFL teams. And so far, there's only been one of those guys that's happened to. That's Riley Patterson, the kicker.
Well, I never said that, you know, these guys, and just in me watching it, I've always been honest. I say I've assessed what I've seen from the Detroit Lions from a Hard Knock standpoint, from a preseason standpoint, from the guys that they brought back. So I'm not going to say I'm surprised at all. It's going to take some time to build enough roster of guys that you can actually let go, and those actually be guys that everybody wants. So this is about par for the course where the Lions are based on where they were last year. I think this is about right.
Were you guys surprised that David Blough was released this morning?
No.
Let me ask you this. And they signed Nate Sudfeld, former 49er, I don't know, he played for several teams. So they have him as the quarterback now.
Commanders,
to me, he's David Blough. So the only reason you cut David Blough, and if you remember Hard Knocks, he got hurt, and he said, I think I did something to my knee.
That's exactly what I wrote on my paper.
I think I did something to my knee.
When I saw Nate Sudfeld be signed by the Lions and Blough cut, this is totally an injury situation for me, especially from what we saw. Now, watching the game watching the game on Sunday in Pittsburgh, nobody knew he was hurt. No, it was only when you had the benefit of watching Hard Knocks, Braylon, when you heard the audio, I could see it as clear as day. This guy's hurt.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was going to ask you, and I don't know how this works, but are the Lions, I don't want to say responsible, but do the Lions help him out with that medical if he is in fact hurt? Because I believe that's why he got cut today.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a situation where if there is something like that, because we saw the injury. You saw it on Hard Knocks. I didn't see it live, but when you watch Hard Knocks last night or you watch it this morning.
Thanks to our boy Easy, letting him in, Ezzy.
Exactly, and that's where I was going with it. On the play, Easy lets him in. Guy comes in, the right end rushing comes in, gets on David Blough's knee, ankle kind of situation. And you're like, wow, like it looks a little, more than what it was. And then you see the move for Suffield. So you definitely know that it is an injury related. But I think they'll allow him to use the facility. They'll rehab him back to shape, et cetera, et cetera. They'll do the things necessary by him so that they won't get some type of grievance filed on them.
So far, your practice squad players are as follows: Tom Kennedy, A.J. Parker, Savion Smith, Garrett Griffin, the tight end, and Justin Jackson, the running back, who I think you're going to see a lot more of, to be honest with you.
I'm still confused about the Justin Jackson, Jamar Jefferson move, and we'll talk about this, watching the Hard Knocks. Is this a situation where Brad Holmes is trying to, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, like he wants to honor his draft picks. Obviously Jamar Jefferson, 7th-round draft pick last year, trying to keep him on, trying to hold him in there, because I didn't see anything special out of him. Meanwhile, I know Justin Jackson, he's been good everywhere he's been, whether it was at Northwestern in college, where I think he broke the record for Northwestern running backs, and they've had a long list of running backs, the record which he broke. He actually played well out in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Last year, I think he amassed 400 yards rushing. I think he had 200 yards receiving as well. He catches the ball well out the backfield, did that in college as well. Not sure why they cut him, but then they did bring him back. So it does say they saw some of the similar things that I saw, because he's experienced and he's proven. I think that's what you're looking for in this league. Guys that are young, but also guys that have some experience that show. He's shown improvement on the NFL field with the Chargers, so I think that goes a long way.
I'm surprised he wasn't picked up by another NFL club. I really am.
And I'm kind of surprised, at least a little bit, a team hasn't taken a flyer on Devin Funchess either. But Braylon, you were talking about, injuries. When you are an injured player, they just catch up to you, because he flashed in that first game.
When injuries pile up on you, when it's been a couple years and you've been on a couple different teams and injuries seem to follow you, whether it's a growing injury with the Detroit Lions in preseason, whether it's a growing injury with the Green Bay Packers, whether it's a hamstring injury with the Colts, whether it's whether it's a shoulder with the Colts, whether it's something on the tight end, he is a tight end, whether it's a hamstring growing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, wherever he's been, there's just been seen to be injury following. I wanted this to work out for him. One, he's a Detroit kid. He's from this area, Farmington Harrison to be exact. Played at the University of Michigan up the road. Wore the number 1 as well. Wanted this to work for him, because I said, I didn't see that guy outside of T.J. Hockenson who could be a tight end and play in the red zone, catch touchdowns, but also play the wide receiver position. So if you need a 2-minute drill and you don't want to worry about subbing somebody in, you got another guy. Thought this could be a good spot for him. But once again, Ryan, like you said, those injuries, those nagging injuries that always seem to come up throughout the course of his career. With the exception of the one year, I want to say, with the Panthers, when he and Cam kind of hit really good that year. I want to say he had 9 or 10 touchdowns. Outside of that, there's been hamstrings, there's been groins, there's been lower back, there's been knees, there's been something. Each team that he's gone to, I wish him well, because he's got talent, but you just didn't want to get him healthy.
One of the guys that showed last night, too, in Hard Knocks was Craig Reynolds. I think that guy, and you saw that by the respect of the coaches and the respect of the teammates, when they were discussing the cuts. If you cut this guy, you're going to have some offensive linemen come knock on your door. They're going to come show up, because it all goes back to that T word, and that's trust. They want to be able to trust their players. And it almost sounded like a knock against Swift again, to me.
What?
I know we're rereading into it, because that's what we're seeing on our television show,
yes.
Hard Knocks. But I told you already how I feel. I love this kid. And I know he's been on a few teams. Don't laugh at me. Okay, I know what I'm talking about just as much as you guys do. This guy is a good running back. And not only that, he's going to be a special teams ace, because they cut out all the other returners. He's your returner.
Maz, you know more than these guys that are looking at you through that camera, so you relax over there, buddy. But looking at it, just like you said with Craig Reynolds, when we had Lomas on yesterday, I asked Lomas that question that I posed last week. I said, hey, are you comfortable with DeAndre Swift? Are you safe in seeing DeAndre Swift? And what you've seen Deuce Staley have to kind of go at him a couple different times. Are you comfortable? You saw Lomas kind of pause. Now, Lomas did come back to say that he believes DeAndre Swift can be the running back of the future. He believes DeAndre Swift can be the guy behind this offensive line. But I'm going to tell you like this. Craig Reynolds, when I watch it, he is doing everything that Coach Staley, that Deuce Staley is begging DeAndre Swift to do. Every conversation that he's having with DeAndre Swift is a conversation that he doesn't have to have with Craig Reynolds. Now, I'm not saying Craig Reynolds is going to be the guy, but I'm telling you, like Maz told us a couple weeks ago, keep your eye on Craig Reynolds and the running back situation, because if anything happens, I got Craig Reynolds jumping Jamal Williams, because Craig Reynolds, I've seen it through Hard Knocks, I saw it on my TV screen, and I've seen it in practice since training camp has started. Nobody's had to talk to him. Nobody's had to complain about the work that he's putting in. Craig Reynolds is looking fast. He's looking elusive, and he's running through the tackles like Coach Staley wants.
I thought that conversation about who to keep, running backs to keep, and everything, they talked about 46, Craig Reynolds, like being a guy that you knew was going to make the team when they started talking. How did they go about separating? I would love to know some more of those decisions. Like when Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are on that whiteboard with the magnets, this guy or this guy, that guy or this guy, this position group or that position group, I wanted to know who they were talking about, just out of the curiosity of it. But I also believe that HBO is under some restrictions on what they can and cannot show.
I have a hunch.
I'm going to ask some of those restrictions when we talk to Pat Harris coming up.
I think if you look at it in terms of what was kept, they kept 9 offensive linemen. They kept 4 tight ends. That's 13 essentially blockers. 13 linemen. If you want to look at it, that lets you know the direction we're going in. We're going in a running direction this year. They only kept 5 wide receivers. That lets you know what direction they're going in. They're going to ride Craig Reynolds. They're going to ride Jamal Williams, and they're going to ride their hope to be bell cow and DeAndre Swift. You talk about Michigan not opening the game plan up. Well, good luck, because it seems like the Detroit Lions are going to be a heavy run-first team this year.
I'll tell you, I really believe that they kept their draft picks to not have people look back at them and say, oh, look at these guys losing draft picks already. And I'll tell you, Ife Melifonwu, we haven't heard much about him because he's always hurt. He was supposedly on the bubble. They kept him. Jamar Jefferson, a late-round pick, they kept him. There's a reason why. It's because they drafted these guys, and they want to give them a little extra time before they say goodbye to them. And we can go over later when we go around the NFL.
I was just going to say,
there's a couple of teams that don't know how to draft. They're worse than the Lions.
Or the fact that a new regime comes in and cuts 6 of the 11 picks that
Isn't that something?
Right. I mean, new regime comes in, 11 draft picks last year. 6 of them are now gone.
Exactly.
So we'll take a look at that. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk to Pat Harris, Assistant Director, NFL Films, HBO Hard Knocks. Lot to discuss on last night's episode. One more to go before we hit the regular season in the NFL.
And I got a question that I can't pose it to Pat because Pat won't answer it the way I want it to be answered. I got a question about Hard Knocks. Is Hard Knocks now getting a little bit boring, or is it because we're Detroit Lions fans? And we'll answer this after Pat. Or because we're Detroit Lions fans, we're tuning in. That's my question for you, and that's my question for you guys at home watching and listening.
All right, we'll do it next. Chili Peppers Tanning. A word from them.
You got it, buddy. You know about them, too. 27 locations, 2 right here on beautiful Woodward Avenue. Yes, all 8 lanes of Woodward Avenue. Get that one, too, at Chili Peppers Tanning. You will have the cleanest salons in the D, and they'll beat all competitors by $5 on all unlimited tanning if you join the Pepper Club. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters. It's chilipepperstanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports Network. We are going to end the Twitter feed. If you're watching on Twitter, go ahead and move you over exclusively to our YouTube channel, Woodward Sports on YouTube. 31,000 subscribers on that platform. Go ahead and hit that like button for us as well. We'd certainly appreciate that. We talk to him each and every Wednesday after the Hard Knocks episode. He is Pat Harris, Assistant Director, NFL Films. Hard Knocks Detroit, baby. Pat, how you doing, my friend?
How's it going, guys?
We're doing good, Pat. So last night, one of the things we were talking about was in that room, in the locker room post-Pittsburgh, when Dan Campbell says to these guys, this is the absolute worst part of my job. You know the dream is going to end for 27 of these guys. When you're in that room, what is that feeling like when you know that all these players, 27 of them, are going to get cut or move on? It almost felt like you could hear a pin drop in that locker room after Pittsburgh.
No question. I think it's impossible to not put yourself in their shoes of kind of what they're feeling, and I think you just kind of read the room, and everybody is exactly like that. They're quiet. Everybody knows it's there. It's the elephant in the room. So you just try to blend in as best you can, knowing we're the Hard Knocks T-shirt standing out. So we just try to blend in as best we can in those situations.
Pat, what's going on, brother? Here, good to have you again. Check this out. You're getting towards the end. We got one more show. We have three preseason games in the books already. What have you seen from the Detroit Lions? Now I'm gonna ask you to be an analyst. I'm gonna ask you to switch roles with me for a second. You become the analyst. What have you seen in the Lions from your first week watching those guys, their first preseason game, all the way to the end in Pittsburgh?
I was really impressed with the defense. I thought the defense as a whole really played awesome, knowing they had to deal with some turnovers, some kind of quick changes. So I thought they did a great job, letting up field goals. I know practice was kind of up and down, as you saw in the show, and I thought they really kind of rose to the occasion in that game. And I think that offensive line is it's going to be very, very, very good. Knowing Pittsburgh's probably got one of the better defensive lines in the league, and they, held their own very well.
Pat, let me ask you something about the broadcast itself. Of course, I'm a big NFL Films guy. Have been since I was a little kid, and that's a long time ago. Love the Sables. Love HBO. I've had it since Rocky came on HBO. Never not had HBO. And I've never missed a Hard Knocks. Let me ask you this. For next year, I don't know if it's possible, but today would have been a great day to drop the last Hard Knocks and make it an hour and a half and have the cuts almost in live action for us. Because let's face it, we all know who's been released. And it would have been a lot better had we have done it live with you guys. What's your take on that?
I mean, live action I know is a whole different world of everything, but I agree with you that it definitely is tough. It's frustrating for us with the new schedule change. I apologize for the lawnmowers. I tried to sneak away as best I could. But I think this new, we're still kind of adjusting to this new schedule change and just the new reality almost. Knowing this is the first time we've really dealt with it in a non-COVID world. So no, I'm with you that it's tough. I think there's definitely, hopefully, a lot of people stay off of Twitter, the best they can. So there's still some excitement. I still have my mom and my wife texting me about guys, and I try to keep the secret as long as I can about who made it, who didn't, just so there is still some drama there. But it's tough. It's definitely, frustrating for us. One of those you can't really control it. So you just try to, we tried to get as much in as we could to still encourage viewers to say, hey, some big things are happening on episode 5, kind of with that last couple minutes of the show. And there is some really good stuff. I mean, we were in staff rooms, in GM's office, in coach's office. So, teeing up episode 5, there's definitely a lot of good, real conversations that are still there.
Hey, I hide it from my wife and my daughters as well. I have not told them because they watching it with me, and I'm like, well, you girls, I know who's not going to be on this team, right? And they're like, don't tell us, Dad, please. And then next week we'll get to see David Blough released like the day after the cuts, and then of course the practice squad players getting signed to the team and getting ready for week number 1. So plenty to watch still. I'm looking forward to the finale.
And I think we have to we try to focus on, all right, whatever's news now, we got to think ahead of time for what's still going to be news on Monday and Tuesday. So I think a lot could change of where guys settle in and just kind of what people are expecting from the show. It's definitely still an adjustment for us.
Yeah, Pat, you've done a couple now. Talking to Pat Harris, executive director of Hard Knocks and HBO. You've done a couple of these Hard Knocks situations now where you've seen guys that you were pulling for, guys that you met, guys you've done a story on, and then they get cut, and you either knew it was coming or may caught you by a blind side. Is there anybody on this team right now that got cut yesterday or today that you're like, dang, I was really pulling for that guy, or you build a little relationship with that guy and they're no longer here?
Devin Funchess was one that I think, just being a veteran, he spoke with a lot of us. He just kind of came up to me a couple practices ago and just had a conversation. And that's something that, a lot of times we got to talk with these guys and we always need something to them. So you don't often get just kind of, getting to know these guys a little bit. But it was nice to just, you build a personal connection while just have a conversation with him of just camp, career. He was on All or Nothing when we did it in the past. So we had, just something common to talk about. So he was somebody that, you're pulling for him to, when he's been out of football for a little bit with injuries and everything, you were pulling for him to make it. So that was definitely one where, it's tough, knowing he's a veteran and everything, you wanted to see him, make the team.
I agree. We were just talking about that, him being a Detroit guy and a Michigan guy. Definitely was pulling for my fellow number one.
Hey, Pat, I found myself watching the episode last night, and I was trying to get as close to the screen as I can to see if I could peek at that board to see what the guys, who the guys were talking about on that whiteboard. This guy or this guy, this position group or that position group. Obviously, I feel like if you guys had the ability to tell people who they were talking about, you would. What kind of restrictions are you working under? When that is discussed, which players are going to make the team and which players are not going to make the team. A couple instances with Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, just in the room on the whiteboard, taking nameplates and moving it from side to side.
So I will say, and this is 100% truth, how you heard them speaking in terms of this guy, that guy, that is how they talk. That is not something we, asked them to do or that they did for the camera, because that, even if they wanted to, if they were so natural, and that's just, I think, how they talk and just how the football world and, the scouting world works. So we showed it, exactly how it was happening. There's stuff, obviously, with, depth charts and everything in Brad and Coach's office. We'll put a bit of a blur on it just so you aren't fully being able to see, you can't take a screenshot in today's world and zoom in, just because that is sensitive stuff for them, just, internally, externally, anything like that. But in terms of those conversations, they were about as real as I can remember really ever being on a Hard Knocks. I think being in that staff room and just knowing that, they've grown comfortable with us being in there. I think they've grown comfortable with that camera. So they were being, very real, very raw with it. I can't really think of an instance where we had to not, there was a conversation that they didn't want us to put in there. I think it's, for the most part, it's, there might be some times with guys that make the team, the conversation of, is he going to make it, is he not? I think that gets a little sensitive from time to time, but I think as you saw, the real conversation with Craig Reynolds, just where he kind of fell on the team, and just knowing that it was, continually trying to decide where he fit in that 53. That was a real conversation. So I think this year's been great to have kind of that, genuine football talk, if you will.
Pat, I want to jump ahead real quick, and we're going to let you go after this. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit to November. How excited are you to deal with the Arizona Cardinals, especially after that interesting offseason that they had? That was Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray, and the front office of the Arizona Cardinals.
No question. I think it's going to be that it's an entirely different, I feel like, vibe of the show. One, because you're in season, but I think two, just dealing with the Cardinals and kind of knowing expectations for them is playoffs, is Super Bowl. So I think it's going to be exciting, and having, a guy like Kyler, and just so many personalities, knowing JJ knows us very well, working with the Texans. So definitely a lot of star power in there, which I think is great for in season, just because those are the guys you gravitate to a little bit when you're trying to tell the story of the team. And it's familiar faces. Same with DeAndre Hopkins, knows us from Hard Knocks. So I think it should be a really exciting season. It's entirely different for me. I work on it back in NFL films. I'll be cutting, games and just different episodes. So I think it's crazy that now there's 2 of them that we're kind of dealing with, because there's a lot of people here that'll jump right into it as soon as we are done here. Yeah. But it is exciting. I think it's good for fans to be able to see completely different, style teams, both shows.
Last one from me, Pat. Were you surprised when you woke up this morning that David Blough was released from this team? And do you think it was the injury that we didn't know he was injured? We heard it last night on the show that, hey, I think I did something to my knee.
I definitely was surprised. I think anytime we're so caught up in this show that we live and breathe it, that you never want to wake up and have a bunch of text messages from my fellow directors. We did, so that always kind of starts your day off a little bit of a curveball. So I think we definitely were surprised, and I don't know. I think they're still trying to figure out some stuff with him and what they're going to decide to do. I know Nate Sudfeld was here today, first practice, so that was at least a good face to see that people kind of know. But no, it definitely was surprised, and hopefully David can, whether he comes back here or catches on somewhere else, definitely an awesome guy. Been good to get to know him.
Thanks, Pat.
Pat Harris, Assistant Director, NFL Films, HBO Hard Knocks, Detroit. Pat, thanks so much for doing this weekly. We look forward to talking to you again next week, the finale of Hard Knocks, Detroit Lions. Thanks so much, Pat.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
You got it. We certainly appreciate it. Absolutely. Guys, we're going to take a break. We'll come right back and react. Dave Birkett going to join us top of hour number 2. And we've got to do Braylon Edwards game-by-game predictions and NFC North predictions as well. We'll have that for you all coming up this hour. But first, a message from Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy of the Detroit Red Wings, and now for a limited time, you can get a 6-pack with the 3 best flavors that they have, and that is the cranberry, the classic, and the sugar-free at CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Cintron wants to be here for the memories. They make memories with the Tigers. They make memories with the Lions. They make memories with the Red Wings. Let them make memories with you. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
All summer long, the Monroe Street Midway is open in downtown Detroit. Enjoy basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art, live music, food trucks, and more. A fun, safe event for everyone between the ages of 1 and 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more info. Again, that is deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hey Ryan, is the Monroe Street Midway, is that place where you hit that infamous shot? Is that the place? Okay, I knew it sounded familiar. I knew it sounded familiar. Ryan Ermanni from deep that day, league 3-point line.
What do you got?
I got an update. Eagles making another trade.
Saw that.
Shocking.
With the Vikings, nonetheless. Wide receiver Jalen Reagor leaving Philly, heading to Minnesota for 2 draft picks, one this year and one next year. A 7th this year, a 4th next year. So
I understand why.
He was a big wig back in the day.
I understand
Jalen
why
Reagor.
Minnesota would do that. Why would Philadelphia do that?
They got enough.
Philly doesn't need
They got
at
enough.
the wide receiver position.
Jeez.
They got enough.
Bloodbath week 1 against
Philly
the
is really they're unbelievable the way they have retooled since the Super Bowl.
That entire team.
I'm just not saying anything. I just can't wait for the game to happen.
Again, that entire team minus the quarterback.
But even the quarterback, though,
Yeah.
like, what are we saying? Like, but minus the quarterback.
I'm just saying. I think that team,
Right.
as a whole, might be the most well put together 22 guys in the NFL. If you put averages of where their 22 is against the other team's 22.
Yeah, and I said that, and you kept telling me that they're still going to lose to the Lions.
I feel it in my bones.
All right.
Yeah. Very
Me too,
good.
Ryan.
Very good.
I can't take you too seriously.
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Wow. That's a good one, too.
Not bad.
Dallas Goedert. I mean, just if we're throwing out names. Miles Sanders.
Just quickly, though, the Hard Knocks that you were talking about.
So
do you think it's boring? Are you bored by it?
I'm bored out of my mind. And to be honest, he said something just now. Pat Harris we were talking to. Pat, this is not your fault. I'll give you my take. You understand why I said this? He said star power. Notice that was the thing he said when I mentioned Arizona. Are you ready for Arizona? He said star power. When you think Arizona, you think about, one of the youngest coaches, a sexy coach who can't win in December, but he's sexy from September through November. Then you got Kyler Murray, who's another guy who seems to play amazingly well into December. Then you got DeAndre Hopkins, lots surrounding him right now, PEDs. He'll miss 6 games, still in line as one of the best receivers in the NFL. And then also you got J.J. Watt. I just think for me, it was exciting in the beginning for Hard Knocks. You're excited to see what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell were going to be up to. I was excited to see. I didn't even know I was going to be that excited to see Deuce Staley and Aaron Glenn and the coaches get after it. I think Aiden Hutchinson in the first episode, doing the Michael Jackson and then the whole piece on him and his family. It's very intriguing in episode 1. And episode 2 was just okay. Episode 3 was, I thought, a little better than 2. Last episode, underwhelming but sad because this is what's coming. The cuts are coming. If we weren't Detroit fans, if this would have been, Buffalo's good, but if this was Jacksonville or what's another team that's not good with
Texans.
Perfect. That's why you're my guy. If this was the Texans, you would have tuned out already.
Probably.
And that's all I was asking the question. Was it just me? Like if it was not the Detroit Lions, would you have tuned out if it was the Texans?
It wouldn't be appointment viewing for me, but I would still record it like I do, and I would watch it at my leisure. Now, the Lions are on, so I'm watching it live or a couple of minutes behind.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. What I think they missed this year and have missed over the last few years is getting into the players and their families. I'm not seeing them going into any player's house so far. I'm not seeing.
Well, they went to Aiden's house.
Where did he go for? A minute?
His backyard.
Yeah, for like
his parents.
Yeah, for like a minute. The first, but have you seen anything since then?
But the difference, the difference, and I'll give Hard Knocks
there's no hotel stay.
That's it.
Right.
There used to be, training camps used to be done on the road. They used to stay in dorms or a hotel, or everybody's in one spot.
But that's how people fall in love with it. Like my wife. Yeah. That's what she wants.
You see a group of guys playing Nintendo together or something. Or
get to the Folding Warehouse. Yeah. They haven't gone there for crying out loud. I mean, team outings and stuff like that. They have those.
True, they do have them. They did some of them.
How about the rookie dinner?
This is true. I will give a little pushback in terms of that, in terms of the hotel stay, in terms of the dorm stay. We talked about when I was with the Jets, we stayed in Cortland. So we were in the dorms. It was easy for them. But with that, too, I'm also scared just watching this, man. Like, the Lions, it was so much excitement. And now that it's getting towards the end of training camp, now that it's getting towards the end, it's like, are we going to have an assisted situation where this is the SOL?
Well, I'll tell you, you know who the stars are?
Coaches.
It's the coaching staff.
Right.
Dan Campbell, Deuce Staley, and Aaron Glenn.
But the coaches ain't playing no games.
I understand that. But I think that's, if you're trying to shape a television show, you've got to go with the guys that are characters. Dan Campbell's a character, Deuce Staley's a character, Aaron Glenn's a character, and then you go from there.
I love that. But what I'm scared of that is, one, that means we won't have too many characters on this team that are star power, if you will, to use Pat Harris's words. Although he didn't use it in that context, keep that in mind. But also, like, how's this team going to be? Because everybody after episode 1 was buying 10 wins. Now all of a sudden, I say it's cooled off, and that cool blue Kool-Aid is starting to subside a little bit.
Not me.
Oh my God! You just talked about how good the Eagles are.
The Eagles are very good.
They're a playoff position.
They're a division winner. The
Eagles.
Thank you.
And we'll talk about it when we bring it up with my list.
I think I would have liked to have seen more of the players-only practice. We didn't see a hell of a lot about it.
That looked boring, to me.
I saw Tim Boyle on the walkie-talkie. He was running practice. I don't think you're going to see him anymore. And Braylon, you think he might come back here?
I think there might be an issue. So to answer your question, you guys are like this guy, this position, this position. They're talking about O-line or wide receiver. Like, guarantee you they're talking about another lineman or Tom Kennedy.
Yep.
It's Tom Kennedy or another lineman. That's where they went back and forth. And they finally said, look, we're going to be run-base heavy. We got the 5-6 wide receivers we need. Tom's a good guy. Maybe we bring him back on practice squad. But we need linemen if we're going to be as physical as we plan to be this year. it was definitely offensive lineman and a wide receiver.
And there were 2 instances last night. One in which Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes were in the office by themselves, and then the other where everybody was in the same room, and they were talking about who's going to make the team and going through their list, because each position coach had his own list, and then you talk about it, and then you go to the scouts. I liked how John Dorsey was involved a little bit last night. I really did. I liked how he was involved, and I'll tell you, probably the most important part of the night went totally under the radar. Anybody want to guess?
Ben Johnson?
Dave Merritt?
No, that was good though. I love seeing Dave Merritt in there.
Show my boy Dave Merritt some love.
The most important part of the night to me, that forget about cuts, forget about 53-man roster, was the fact that Mark Brunell was glowing about Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Jared Goff is the engine that is going to make this thing go.
Yeah.
If Jared Goff plays to Super Bowl caliber Jared Goff, the Lions are going to win some games this year, and they're going to win some games that you don't expect them to win, like a Philadelphia. If Jared Goff doesn't play well, then they're going to suck. It's pretty simple.
What did I miss on Mark Brunell?
Mark Brunell was talking about how 16 is playing as good throughout this camp as anyone.
Okay.
He is really locked in. He was loving how Jared Goff has progressed through camp.
Whoever's doing the narrating for
Leaf Schreiber.
It is Leaf Schreiber,
the best.
a.k.a. Sabretooth. Leaf Schreiber, he basically said, but there is one guy who's still on fire. And it was talking about Jared Goff. And so then Jared Goff drops an absolute dime.
Seriously.
On the side. And it was a dime, like a real dime. And DJ Chark caught it on the sideline just enough to get his feet in.
Yeah.
And after that moment, Brunell was, you're absolutely right about that. Because Brunell was so high in the moment, high on the play, high on the kid that he's been helping now for 2 years. Like, you could see him, like, just kind of like, man, that's good football. Like, he didn't know what to do.
And don't you feel good? What about when Aaron Glenn was addressing the defense? Talking about how the Lions offense has completed 72% of their passes throughout camp.
Right.
Now, you can say that the defense sucks. You can say that all you want. And look, I'm not going to argue about that right now. I thought they looked good in the first half against Pittsburgh, ones-on-ones. That's my take on it. But you got to feel good about that offense, because that's exactly where they put their money. You put all your investment in that offensive line. You put all your investment in those wide receivers and in that quarterback. I mean, they have got to play well, this offense, and they have against the Lions defense, at least through training camp.
You heard Pat Harris last week. Sorry, Bray.
Oh, no, go ahead, buddy.
He said to us, because I asked him about Jeff Okudah. How come you don't have Jeff Okudah on more? And he's like, well, he's never really done anything personality-wise to really stand out. But he did say, we feel that he and Ermanni Edwards are going to be one of the best duos in the NFL. What happens then? The kid gets a starting job. He makes a play against the Colts. What did he say today to us? What impressed you the most? He said that defense.
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe they're onto something. Maybe they're onto something.
Aaron Glenn is not going to let these guys suck.
Yeah.
Is that – I really believe a coach can will you to play better or at least above your skis here.
Yeah, we talked about last year. I mean,
I just think that much about AG.
Well, he did last year. He had these guys playing outside themselves last year. They were in some games they had no business being in. They actually should have won some games they had no business being in. That's Aaron Glenn, getting these guys in the right position. And we talked about it. How do you get guys to play at an elite level if they're not elite yet and they're building to get there? Well, it's discipline. Mm-hmm. You do the little things. You don't jump off sides. You don't create penalties. You don't do self-inflicted negatives or self-inflicted wounds, however you want to do it. You do the little things, and then you let some of those guys you drafted, like an Aiden Hutchinson, like a Malcolm Rodriguez, on the offensive side, the guys that are going to make the system go. Then you let that talent start to come out. That's how you help yourself when you're not necessarily in the same league as a Buffalo Bill. You don't create the sins.
Braylon's game-by-game predictions. We'll do it next. Plus, NFC North standings, Ermanni Edwards, Woodward Sports Network. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you're home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call that number right now, 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, gang. How about it, baby? It's big boy time. For a limited time only, the all-new burgers and loaded fries are all set for you at Big Boy. It's not just a Slim Jim this time. It's the Big Jim. And how about the chili cheeseburger? What a tease that is. And guess what else is new? It's the bacon blue burger. Don't forget your fries. How about upgrading them? How about the chili cheese fries? Man, they're good. Braylon had them, and I picked right on his plate. Delicious. The baked potato fries, the nacho fries, they're all for yours. They'll satisfy your taste buds at Big Boy.
All right, coming up, we are going to have Braylon Edwards game-by-game predictions. We'll do that and NFC North standings. Just looking at the Lions depth chart for a second. You know, and Braylon had mentioned this earlier. You keep 4 tight ends, right? You keep 5.
They kept our guys, Shane
9
Zylstra.
offensive linemen.
How about it? We called that.
Yeah.
We called 84, Shane Zylstra.
9 offensive linemen and 4 tight ends. Your identity is how strong you are. Sorry, Braylon. I'm trying to stall here to get to your friggin' predictions here.
I forgot you can see up underneath.
Yeah, it's all good. You ready to join us now? You good? You just take a leak or something?
Yeah, I took a leak.
Good.
Had got a little water.
You got to do it. You got to get a little water, you know? Sometimes you got to do it.
Dump, had a little trash over there, took it over there, got away your shot.
All right,
completely rude.
We'll do my Lions identity topic next. But I want to do your play-by-play. There you go, Sammy. Even Sammy Flannel gave you a little music and everything.
Appreciate that.
Look at this. Braylon Edwards, take it away, my friend.
Done it a couple times already. Let's get into it. No need to wait. Put him up there, my man. Fletch. So let's do it. Let's get out the way. Lions 6-11. So if you want that under, which is 6.5, I would say take the under on the Lions this season. Now, if you look at 6-11, that's still improving from last year. That's 3 more games than they won last year. Here's how we start. You look at Philly. Philly's going to beat them. It's going to be bad. And I actually listened to what you said yesterday, Ryan. If Philly goes ahead and blows them out, like I think they will, I think Philly's that good of a ball club. I think that Jalen Hurts is going to be that much more improved as a quarterback, a passer of the football and a leader. It's going to be tough. And if they go down that first game, they're going to lose the next 2 as well. Washington Commanders are a lot better than people give them credit for, whether it's Carson Wentz at the helm, whether it's Tyler Heineke, who took them to the playoffs 2 years ago. That defense is pretty good. Jonathan Allen's on that team as well. They're going to be really good. We know about this offense as well. Third team, I got them winning the division. No need to talk about what Minnesota's going to do to the Lions. They will win against the Seattle Seahawks. They will lose against the Patriots. I understand what you say about the Patriots, and that offense of coaching staff looks like a mess. Looks like Bill Belichick doesn't know what he's doing. Well, last time the Lions have won in New England was 1993. They've lost the last 3. They don't win well on the road. In fact, Ryan, the Lions are 27-5 on the road in the last 4 seasons. So I don't see them beating Bill Belichick in New England at Gillette Stadium. They won't beat the Cowboys. The Jerry's World just won't happen. CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, new purpose, healthy Tony Pollard. Offensive line still has some guys. Zach Martin, the guy, has been the best lineman for the Cowboys. Go ahead. What's up?
I thought you liked them to beat the Cowboys.
I did until I didn't. I did until I did.
Okay.
This is make or break day, so I'm going to go with Cowboys will win. They still have Dak Prescott, still have CeeDee Lamb. They're going to make some moves right there. Miami, I like Miami as well. I like Tua Tagovailoa, what they're going to do. They do have to come here But I like Tua Tagovailoa. I like that offense. I like Raheem Mostert at running back. I like Chase Redmond at running back. I like Jalen Waddle. I keep talking about it. Mike Gesicki is going to be that missing piece on the offensive side of the ball. And Xavier Howard is still out there. And oh, by the way, they did get Terran Armstead, left tackle from the Saints.
Gesicki's on the trade block, by the way.
And guess what? They're not going to trade him. Then the Green Bay is Green Bay. That's Maz's team. No need to explain that. The Bears, I think the Bears will be better. I think Justin Fields will be better. I might actually have them split, but for now, they take the first one in Chicago. I think the New York Giants, I'm just not a fan of Daniel Jones. You never know what you're going to get out of that offensive staff. That the line hasn't been playing well in preseason. They've been waiting for that line to play well, still not playing well, including the first draft pick, who is an offensive lineman from last year. Buffalo lost. Jacksonville, going to be an underrated team this year. I like what they're going to do. They went out and got Christian Kirk. They say, you know what, we need a wide receiver. We're going to pay for him. We don't care what the people think. Trevor Lawrence is going to be much better this year. He's going to be improved. Travis Etienne, somebody that he's very familiar with in the backfield. I tell you, he's the most underrated ACC player in the last 20 years. He's going to ball for that team. So look for that to be a surprise loss for the Lions. They lose to the Vikings again. I think this might be a loss, to be honest. The New York Jets. This might be a loss at MetLife Stadium. I know a little bit about MetLife Stadium. That wide receiver core, about as good as it gets in terms of young talent. You got Breece Hall, who's chomping at the bit to make his mark in the NFL. Not to mention on the defensive side of the ball, you do have players as well. But I'll stick with a win for now. Carolina, I got that as a win. I can't cheer for Baker Mayfield. The Bears, they beat him again, and then they lose to Green Bay in Green Bay. 6-11 is what they'll go. Book it, count it. And I'm not changing it.
So that's the under.
That's the under.
Okay.
Like, the only way I change that is actually to say they lose to Carolina or say they lose to the Jets.
Okay.
It's the only way why I would change it. I would change it to 5-12 instead of 6-11.
Well, right now, the favorite of the over-under is the over in Vegas. Now, It's only a slight favorite.
Yep.
And the under is a slight underdog. It's a plus 125. So you put 100 down, you make 125, and the other way is for the over. So Vegas is taking money on this team, and we'll go over it later. The Hard Knocks, Las Vegas rules. You'd be shocked at some of these numbers I'm going to give you later.
So you've got them, Brago, starting the season 1-7.
Yes.
3-10. 6-0 in their 6 easiest games. 0-11 in their yeah.
I do.
I mean, okay, let's play this out.
Let's play it out.
If they lose to Jacksonville at home and start the year 3-9 and then follow it up with maybe getting embarrassed against Minnesota, I think you got to make a change. Under this scenario.
Yeah.
What hope would you have?
But at the end, I'm being honest. The one thing we talk about when we talk about Brad Holmes and the job that he's done, talk about Dan Campbell, talking about from last year to this year, including offseason, moving into 2022 season, they didn't address the defense enough to me. Mm-hmm. They didn't address the defense enough to me. We were calling, and when I say we, everyone was calling Jeff Okudah a bust last year. Now they're happy he's starting for them. They didn't go out and recruit any safeties. They went and brought Tracy Walker back. A young safety, had a couple other offers who chose to come up here. They brought Tracy Walker back. The linebacker core, we want Malcolm Rodriguez to be the guy. Because, oh, by the way, linebacker 1 is a guy that didn't think he was even going to make the team last year. Alex Anzalone. And now he's the guy that's linebacker 1 for this team. They went out and got, who's the big guy they just picked up on the defensive line through waivers, Maz?
Damn it. Oh, today for the Lions?
Yes.
Oh, the big guy, 6'1", 329-pound Benito Jones.
They picked up
from Miami.
They picked up a Benito Jones who cannot play any ball, but they picked him up because he was big to shore up that front, because they don't have anybody up front besides Charles Harris and your boy Aiden Hutchinson. So that defense is going to struggle. I don't care what you say. Aaron Glenn can only do so much. They're playing against, if you look at those offenses, with the exception of New England, and New England has Mac Jones, and they got some guys. They played well a little bit at times last year. Look at the offenses they're playing against. They're playing against some stud offenses.
I'm not saying this isn't going to happen.
Right.
What I'm saying is, if it does happen and they start 3-9, 3-10,
1-4 to the break,
1-4 to the break, 1-7, I just don't see where the progress is. So
progress is you win 3 more games than you won last year.
But not at 3-10, you're freaking out.
The season's over already.
Yeah, I mean your season's over at 1-7.
It's like
freaking out.
It's like the Tigers winning the next 30.
Congratulations, you picked second in this year's draft, and you start off with a juggernaut of teams. That's not Dan Campbell's fault. Okay, he took on a situation last year where they were devoid of talent. Now he's built with Brad Holmes. They're working on the future, and they're trying. But at the same time, you didn't address the defense. And oh, by the way, just look at the offensive star power you play in Philly. Look at the offensive star power with Gibson, McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, and Washington. And I'm missing somebody. Look at Minnesota. Just not even the defensive side of the ball. Look at the offensive star power they have. Look at the offensive star power of the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, who's thrown for the most 400-yard per game in the last 4 years.
Great conversation. We're going to take a break. Come right back. Is NFC North predictions. We'll do it next. Ermanni and Edwards. But first, a message.
With Maz.
But first, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
Son of a...
Sorry.
I think somebody took the Gypsy, but luckily I don't need it. Gypsy Vodka, all summer long, we've been raving about the mulligan. Well, guess what? The summer's over, but the mulligan is still here. 8% alcohol seltzer. And it is 8%, it is not 5%, so don't get it twisted. Iced tea, lemonade, and mango are the flavors. Adam and Mike, Michigan State guys, listen, they got it right. So go support them. Michigan Distillers. Don't leave the state. Make the state great once again. Support Adam and Mike with the Mulligan by Gypsy Vodka. But remember, if you're on the golf course, if you're at home barbecuing, if you're going over a friend's house, whatever you're going to do, make sure to drink responsibly.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner jumper. Tweet us. Hop on the YouTube chat. Slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
The Academy of Warren is currently enrolling for kindergarten through 8th grade. It features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, a learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K through 8 athletics. Speaking of athletics, Academy of Warren features the brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football. Enroll today at academyofwarren.net. That is academyofwarren.net.
All right, if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. Braylon, NFC North predictions. Look at that.
18-0 without Devontae Adams. I'm not saying he's better with Devontae Adams, but he is.
He's got Romeo.
He is the reigning, defending, and you got to say it twice because he won back-to-back MVPs. Talking about Aaron Rodgers. He's got Romeo Doubs. He's got Christian Watson. Those are the young guys, but he also has Randall Cobb. He also has Valdez-Scantling. He's got some guys in there.
Sammy Watkins.
He's got Sammy Watkins. I mean, guy has a Super Bowl, and he has played at a high level for years. Green Bay is going to be just as good because of that defense, though. The moves that they made on that defensive side, especially in the draft. So look for them. And then the Lions at 6-11, and the Bears, they're going to fight it out for 3-4. The Lions 6-11. I showed you why I feel they're going to go 6-11. I think the Bears will struggle again. The Bears, they look a little bit better. I can see something out of Justin Fields, but I just don't know if they have the players to go along with what Justin Fields wants to get done this year. So that's why I got a third place finish for the Detroit Lions.
Fair enough. I want to go back to Braylon's game-by-game predictions. And again, just for clarity, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, right. But if it happens like this, where they start the year 1-7, and then ultimately, if you go down to that bottom left-hand corner versus Jacksonville, if they lose to Jacksonville at home, they're going to get booed off the field at 3-9. Yeah. You will see the paper bags. You will see the SOL. Yeah. You will see the same old Lions 3-9. They're going to get booed off the field, and I think at that point, Lions fans all over the place are going to say, "Well, what the hell is different? How is this regime any different from Matt Patricia? What, we like him more? The results are the results." Now, I'm not saying that they won't win 3 in a row to end the year before that.
But those games don't matter.
But those games won't matter. That's like last year when they ended the season 3-5-1.
Yeah,
they were 0-8 or whatever. You know what I mean, or whatever their record was. So
0-11. Yeah.
It's like again, like Matt said, what was if the Tigers won the next 30 games, what does it matter? You know, they're out.
I understand it, but listen, progress is a slow process. And the biggest thing that they did not address the defensive side of the ball. They waited. They took their chance. You know, they went with a Pascal instead of a Nakobe Dean. That's still one that's mind-boggling me. And I hope that they got it right with that. And I hope that the Eagles learned something about Nakobe Dean that they thought they knew and they didn't. But with that being said, Nakobe Dean was a better pick at that second spot. I would have loved to have Nakobe Dean. We talk about needing a leader on that defense. That's why I was so excited. That's why I was so excited about potentially getting the move in Chicago, bringing in their linebacker. With that being said, progress, slow process. Look at the start of the season. Are they in these games? Are they losing by 2 points? Are they losing by 3 points? I know you're like a loss is a loss, so it doesn't matter. No,
that would matter, because then if they're losing by 2 or 3, then I'm certainly putting it on the coach. Then I absolutely am putting on. If you're getting blown out every week, I mean, maybe you're just outmanned. Maybe your talent in the NFL just isn't what it is. But if you are losing by 2 or 3 points every week, then I kind of look at the coaching staff and say, how are you helping these guys? Can't you draw something up at the end of the game, or at the end of half, or in a 2-minute drill, or in the middle 8, where you can get these guys going? Then I'd almost feel worse about the coaching staff if it was close than if it was a blowout.
I agree, but at the end of the day, I agree with you, but at the end of the day, the other thing that I'm still looking at is we keep talking about this magical world where you put all these pieces together in offense and it just works because it's supposed to work. And I said this yesterday. That's the other thing I don't think that we're looking at, enough closely. We keep just saying, Taylor Decker was here, Joshua Jackson, he went to the Pro Bowl, and Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow is the highest paid center. He's going to be so great. DeAndre Swift, we keep talking about Jared Goff in the Monday Night Football game that I brought up, which I did. I said this is what he looks like when he has everything in front of him working on all cylinders. Yeah, but that hasn't happened here in Detroit. So it still has to happen. You still got to get that chemistry on the field. I'm not talking about off the season. I'm talking about on the field. Got to get that going. It's just a tough sledding at the end of the day. This is the NFL. It's going to be tough, especially when you pick second going into the season. You're supposed to struggle. You may look better. 6 wins for me is you get better progress, slow process. I mean, you're just playing against playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team, playoff team. Should have been a playoff team, playoff team.
What happened to easy schedule?
Playoff team, playoff team, playoff team.
What happened to easy schedule?
Well,
I think you're looking at Washington, Seattle, Miami, technically, because you're going by last year's record.
Yeah, but there's still, isn't it the 5th easiest schedule in the NFL?
Chicago twice, 2 New York teams, Carolina, and Jacksonville.
That should be 6 wins.
But here's the thing, though, Maz, and that's why I posed the question. I said this last week. I said, easy to who? When Ryan was talking, I think this was Thursday, we had this conversation. I said, easy to who? Like, yeah, if you say easy schedule to the Green Bay Packers, all right, I get it. Green Bay's got Aaron Rodgers, and they win 11 games or 13 games every year. If you say easy to the Buffalo Bills, yeah, this is an easy schedule to the Buffalo Bills. But if you're saying easy, but then you're telling me it should be easy for the Detroit Lions, who were 3-13-1 the year before that, and picked second overall this year, well, I'm not buying it, because they have to show me that they could do something before I say it's an easy schedule for them.
I get it.
It's easy for some people, but not easy for everybody.
It's on paper.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's fun to talk about. And can we both say we hope you're wrong?
Yeah, 100%. I don't want to do.
All three of us can say we hope you're wrong.
I don't want to do 18 weeks if this is true.
I mean, honestly, I'd rather if they go 6-11, I hope they start 6-0.
Yeah,
And rather than lose the last 11, because I'm telling you, there is nothing worse than waiting all year for NFL football and then starting the year 1-7, or 1-4, and then 1-7. There is nothing worse than that, and nothing after that even friggin' matters.
I think the best scenario for the Detroit Lions, if I'm being honest, in the first 5 weeks, let's do it by 5. First, well, I guess you could go 6. Let's go 6. Best case scenario, first 6 games, that's Philly through Dallas, is 3-3 was the absolutely best. That means you beat Washington, you beat Seattle, and
you won a New England or
just Dallas. But most obvious case scenario, I believe, is going to be 1-7 or 2-5. I mean 1-4, 1-5.
I've got a hot take alert. Hot take alert. I'm going to have that for you next. And it's in relation to Nakobe Dean after Dave Birkett. Dave Birkett going to join us now. Is he on the line there, Fletch? We'll get him next. Ermanni and Edwards. Woodward Sports
Hi,
Network.
my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Woodward Sports Network. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button for us. Talking Lions today. Big Lions Day. Every day is a big Lions Day over here. We love talking about the Lions, and we love talking to this guy, too. He's a Lions beat reporter for the Detroit Free Press, Freak.com, Dave Birkett. Dave, how you doing, my friend?
Our guy.
What's up, fellas?
You, baby.
What's up, brother?
What's up, Dave?
All right, Dave, first, one of the things we were talking about this earlier today was in relation to David Blough. News that he was waived and you signed Nate Sudfeld. It almost was a little bit more clear after watching last night's Hard Knocks why Blough might have been waived. Do you think this was injury related?
No, I don't. I mean, I guess we'll find out today at 4 o'clock because they'll have to waive him with an injury designation if they do. But I don't think so, because if he is coming back on the practice squad, you can't do that when you're injury related. Fully expect him to be back on the practice squad. So I think this is just a move that was related to his performance on the field, or the Lions' maybe lack of belief that he could actually win meaningful football games for them, thinking maybe he still needed a little more development time and that Nate Sudfeld was a better quarterback option.
Very good. Then, so just to clarify, and thanks for this clarification, if he is injured, you can't just waive the guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, you could. It's possible that a player might not pass the physical with a minor injury and just have a not deal that you come back to the practice squad. But in reality, if you waive a player with an injury designation, then you have to give them an injury settlement, and then before you are able to re-sign them, there's I forget what it is, a 4-week period after that settlement. So, if you're bringing somebody back, you don't waive them with an injury designation.
Got it.
Dave, Braylon here. Always good to have you on the show. Got to ask you a question. Got to come to you. You've been there since the beginning of training camp, and you're there now. You're going into it. What is your assessment of the Detroit Lions from when you went in thinking what they could be or what you were going to see to what you've seen after the Pittsburgh Steelers game up until this moment right now?
Yeah, I'm a little more optimistic, I think, and it's I always try to temper that because I think optimism reigns this time of year, right? So you tend to see a team practicing against themselves and all the good things about them, right? They're doing something good on every play, whether it's offense or defense. But I'll tell you two things, Bray. I think number one, they're healthy, and that's such an important thing in the league. They have not, and I know Levi Onwuzurike, Julian Okwara, right? They're dealing with some minor injuries, but they have not suffered any significant injuries yet this camp, and all their key players are in pretty good shape. And that's important. Number two, I do think Jared Goff has looked significantly better this summer than he did last year. And, look, I've been, pretty open about my belief that Jared has some shortcomings as a quarterback. But, he's surrounded by a lot of talent right now. And if he is above average in this league, this season, then I think the Lions have a shot to be a surprise team.
And I thought, Dave, that was one of the parts about last night that kind of went under the radar for me, but it was big impact, is Mark Brunell telling everybody in that coaching office or in the personnel office how good Jared Goff has been this camp. Let's be honest, they're only as good as Goff. They're only going to be as good as Goff is this season.
Right, 100%. I mean, look, they have the third highest percent of their cap allocated to the offense in the NFL. Offensive side of the ball in the NFL. They have a really good offensive line. They've given him the weapons he needs to succeed. They believe this is what they needed to surround him with to sort of get the most out of him. And if he fails, they fail because they haven't made those same sort of investments on defense. And obviously that quarterback is so important to what you do on offense. And, I really believe that his relationship with Ben Johnson and the way this offensive line has performed, I think those two things can help elevate Goff to better heights than we saw last year. I'm not going to say like what he was when he was helping the Rams reach the Super Bowl, but it is easy to forget that Jared Goff is still a 27-year-old quarterback, number one overall pick of the draft, unceremoniously let go in LA or traded from LA to the Lions. And I think those things, there is a little bit of a chip on his shoulder to knowing this is a prove it to people who have doubted him.
Hey, Dave, what were your surprises on the cuts, the releases, the waiver wire, all of that? I know we all have our favorite guys that we thought were going to make this team. Were you surprised about the running back situation? Justin Jackson being let go. Obviously, they brought him back on the practice squad. If he is still, we haven't heard anything from him. And they bring in the guy Benito Jones from Miami, and they re-signed 5 players so far to the practice squad. What can you tell us about all of those thoughts of yours?
I'll tell you the thing that I was most surprised about was maybe not a cut, but a key, Jamar Jefferson. I just didn't see that one happening. I thought Jefferson was the 5th best back as a runner, behind obviously Swift and Jamal Williams, Craig Reynolds, and then Justin.
All right, now go. All right, we lost connection. We'll get him back here in a minute.
It doesn't add quite the special teams value that a guy like Birkett does. So keeping Jamar Jefferson was the single biggest surprise, in my opinion, of what happened on cut day. Anthony Pittman, special teams guy, I could have saw make it. Justin Jackson as an extra running back. Obviously, they're bringing Tom Kennedy back to the practice squad. A.J. Parker even at cornerback. I think there were some other options that if I was setting the 53-man roster, I probably would have had on over Jamar Jefferson, but he's a 7th-round pick of Brent, and sometimes those draft picks are tough to let go.
Hey, we all thought here on the show, or at least Ryan and I did, that more Lions would be picked up on waivers. Only one, Riley Patterson, goes to Jacksonville. The Bears, they picked up 5 guys. The Jets put a bunch of guys out there just like everyone else, and they had 7 of their players picked up. Any surprises there with the Lion players still out there?
Yeah, I don't think so necessarily. I mean, look, the Lions are still in a spot where, I don't know that they have they don't have top half of the league type talent. And, maybe, to your point, Maz, like no one thought the Jets did either, and they had a bunch of guys claim. But
correct.
The Lions did a good job to take care of keep around some of the higher upside young guys that they have on their roster, right? Demetrius Taylor, a bubble guy, but flash in the preseason. You don't want to let a young defensive lineman go. They still believe Melifonwu can be something for them. So I didn't really examine, who was claimed from the Jets cuts, but I think the Lions, they did well to protect who they had and some of the guys they let go. Pittman, Igwebuike, right? Guys that maybe they'll bring back. Those are special teams guys, and so some of those guys don't always get claimed because they don't have a clear path to playing time on the team.
Talking to Dave Birkett, Detroit Free Press beat writer for the Detroit Lions. Dave, I've been asking everybody this question. We had Lomas Brown on the show yesterday asking this question. I've asked Ryan, I've asked Maz, I've asked anybody that I've seen that has been to the Lions facility or that's been watching Hard Knocks, been watching the preseason. Am I making too much of DeAndre Swift being yelled at or being constantly coached by Deuce Staley to hit it up in the hole, to take what he sees and not try to bounce outside? Meanwhile, I haven't heard them mention Craig Reynolds in a negative way one time. It's year 3. Should he still be talking to Deuce? Should Deuce still be talking to DeAndre Swift like that? Or am I making too much of it? Is he the guy?
Yeah, he is the guy. Let's make sure that's clear to start, right? They think DeAndre Swift has another gear that some of these other running backs don't have. It's a matchup problem for opposing teams. So I see it as, A, this is all selective editing by HBO, right? But or NFL films. But B, they are trying to get the most out of Swift because they think, if he reaches his potential, maybe they have the pretty special offense. And Braylon, I'm sure guys who, hard coaching works for some guys and other guys it doesn't. And so maybe we're just seeing, that's probably Deuce's personality in a way, but maybe we're seeing what he thinks Swift needs to get the most out of it.
Hey, Dave, last one from me. I just want to go to the other side of the ball real quick. Jeff Okudah, I mean, obviously the best case scenario for this football team that he comes in and not only makes the team but wins a starting job. What have you seen out of Okudah throughout camp, and what do you expect from him this season?
Yeah, I don't think it's a surprise, first of all, that Dan named him a starter. I thought he had better camp than Will Harris. He looks to be playing with a little more confidence than Will does right now. And obviously, number 3 overall pick, he still has plenty of talent. So that didn't surprise me. I won't be quite as quick to hail him as being back to the Jeff Okudah from pre-injury form as maybe some others. Just because I still don't think we've seen it a lot. I mean, he had a really nice pass breakup the other day in that game against the Steelers. He's done some good things, some better things of late, the last 2 weeks or so in practice. And that's why you see him as the starting left cornerback on this team. But I need to see it in games first. I still have that image, burned in my mind of last year, the long pass that he let up and really what happened his rookie season. So I think there's still some growing pains ahead for him, but the fact that he was playing well enough to win the starting job, couple that with Jerry Jacobs being a couple weeks from being back, that should give Lions fans a little more hope for what the secondary can be.
Dave, last one's for me. Who's the kick returner, the punt returner? Who's our special team guy? Who's our Mel Gray? And now that you've seen the whole camp, what's your number on Lion wins?
No one is the Mel Gray.
Thank you, Dave Birkett. He has his questions sometimes.
Facts.
Come on, man. Mel was nasty.
No, Khalif Raymond should handle punt returns for the Lions. I mean, I think the Lions were pretty comfortable with what they had in him and didn't need to see anything from him out of the preseason. Craig Reynolds is probably going to be your kick returner. He's the only guy. The Lions had 5 guys that return kicks.
Yeah.
About 4 of them. Reynolds is the only one they kept.
Jeez. So
I think Reynolds is probably the kick returner. It wouldn't surprise me if they brought Maurice Alexander back on practice squad, and who knows, maybe he gets a nibble here this season of some return duty. But those would be your two guys. And I forget what the other part of the question was.
What's your over/under now? You've seen the whole camp.
Yeah, I was actually I was doing some of my season preview stuff today, and I haven't filed it yet. But
okay, we can be surprised.
No, I mean, look, I'm tweaking it, right? I'm going through it. But I think the Lions are, let's just say, about an 8-win team. I think I had them at 7 wins back when the schedule came out as I was doing it today. I'm thinking they're about an 8-win team, and that's a pretty significant step forward. So that would be a good season, a step in the right way at least.
Hey, and this will be the last time I say anything in the preseason about Malik Willis. But what do you think of Malik Willis?
Fun to watch. I did watch a little bit of him. Fun to watch. Definitely not ready to be a starting quarterback in the NFL yet. But, I mean, look, we're a lot of talk about Lions backups, right? The last 48 hours or so. And so I think if Willis was the backup to Jared Goff, you'd probably feel a little bit better about the quarterback situation.
Yeah, you think?
Dave Birkett, Lions beat writer, Detroit Free Press. Spend a buck. Subscribe to the Free Press. Absolutely. It's worth every penny. Follow him on Twitter at Dave Birkett. Dave, thanks so much for the time, my friend. Appreciate it.
See you, Dave.
No problem, guys. Talk to you again.
All right, we'll look for your season preview as well coming up in the Free Press. Some good stuff there. So I'm looking forward to seeing where your season prediction is tomorrow.
Would you guys stop bringing Malik up? Would you stop bringing Malik Willis up?
I will not stop.
Stop bringing Malik Willis up.
When we go around the NFL, I'll get my turn.
Let's go around the NFL.
But you know what? But my predictions tomorrow will beat both of yours. That's all I got to tell you.
All right, let me. That's what we'll do.
Are you going to go 8?
I already got them. They're already in.
Yeah. That's what we should do on Friday is have the people do something where the people could vote on what season prediction will be closest to actually happening.
Well, we know it ain't gonna be yours. we know it ain't gonna be the.
But you hope it's mine, probably.
For the sake of being right now. No, I'm joking.
All right, we'll go around the NFL next. Plus, I'll give you my hot take alert.
Ooh.
I'm 1-0. 2 on my hot take alert. My hot take last week was that neither backup quarterback would make this team and they would sign somebody else.
Good point.
So just want to make that clear.
They clearly both suck.
I know a little bit of what I'm talking about.
But did you get your power back yet?
Just a little bit. Got it back about 30 minutes ago.
All right.
Hot take alert. Go around the NFL next. But first, a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and addiction. Sean Jordan and NFL Alumni Association of Detroit, they do an amazing job of having the conversation, talking about mental health, talking about addiction, giving you the steps, giving you the resources, telling you the places in which you can go. Go to thesportsma.com. If any of this is needed by you or someone that you know, look, we all understand everyone has issues, or everyone we know we have some level of issues, but here's a way to get the information. Here's a way to deal with that and deal with it head on as opposed to keep putting it in the back burner. Got to address these issues now. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, and F Word stands for fentanyl, does an amazing job of addressing these issues. thesportsma.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi.
Big Frog.
Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi. That is bigfrog.com/Novi.
Want to thank each and every one of you in the YouTube chat and watching along on YouTube. Hit that like button for us. Subscribe to Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletch and Flannel. Talking a little Lions football, talking a little NFL football. We'll get into some college too over the next 40 minutes or so. Here's my hot take alert. You ready for it?
Let's do it, buddy.
You got hot take alert drums or something?
Yep, something.
Like
something. Should I wait for it?
Yeah, let's wait to see if it comes up with something.
While he's doing that,
start keeping track of these hot takes.
While he's doing that, Serena Williams
Did she win
in
again?
action tonight.
Oh, okay.
We'll look for that.
So I wanted to talk about that. I was going to wait to the end, but you brought it up. Serena Williams tonight is playing the number 2 seed in the tournament, Annette Kontaveit.
Yep.
She hasn't been playing so well. She's been struggling as of late. Last 2 majors she's played in, she struggled. And she struggled, I want to say, a month ago in Cincinnati, where Serena also struggled. If Serena wins tonight, beats the number 2 seed at the U.S. Open, a court which she's on, a tournament, well, she's on them all, but a tournament that really is hers, is this good enough for a send-off? Would this be...
She's going to win the tournament.
She's winning it all?
She's going to win it all. That's not my hot take alert.
But that's a hell of a one.
Because I'm going to keep a record of the hot take alert. Okay,
I would definitely be up there.
Let me give you a quick U.S. Open.
Okay.
Back in 1991, a guy by the name of Jimmy Connors making a comeback in his 40s. Electrified that crowd, made it to the semifinals.
Lost to Agassi, didn't he?
Yeah, I forgot who finally finished them off. It might have been
Agassi.
But if Serena Williams can do that, can go that far, that's good enough. If she can make it to the semis.
Nobody had her winning the first round after what you saw this year. So I think her winning the first round and then beating the number 2 seed, I think she's good there.
Well, she's good no matter what.
All right.
Yeah, true.
We'll talk Serena tomorrow because it's gonna continue.
Okay, I shut up.
Hot take alert.
Hot take.
At season's end, Malcolm Rodriguez will have better statistics and more of an impact for the Detroit Lions than Nakobe Dean will for the Philadelphia Eagles. That is my hot take alert.
I thought you were going to say better stats than Aiden Hutchinson.
No.
That would have been a hot take.
That's not apples to apples.
Well,
so
defense.
Yeah. They're both linebackers.
Don't pay any attention. I got you.
You're with me.
Don't pay any attention.
It's a joke. It's a joke, Maz. Don't be so sensitive. I'm just joking with you, bud.
Being sensitive, Maz.
How can you bust flesh balls? I bust your balls. You get mad.
I don't bust flesh shots.
You do. Not anymore. You used to.
He's good now.
And now. So the thing about that, I'm trying to figure out. It's going to be tough, and the reason why it's going to be tough is because what you want from the defensive line position. Okay, your Brandon Grahams, your Fletcher Cox, and your Jordan Davis and the big guy they just got. You want them to clog up the offensive line, get pushed forward. When you do that, you create chaos. And you know who you make it easier for? You make it easy for your linebacker to run around and make tackles. Mm-hmm. All the tackles, all the linebacker ones, all the LB ones, all the Fred Warners, the Darius Leonards, et cetera, Bobby Wagner, they have good up front D linemen. So it makes it easier for those guys just to run around and make tackles. That's not necessarily the case here with the Detroit Lions. So it's going to be an interesting situation. So to answer your prediction, it could happen because they're going to be on the field a lot. But in terms of easy tackles, I think Nakobe Dean will have 175 tackles this year. I got Malcolm Rodriguez about 110.
For the record, just looking at the Eagles depth chart, Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean both listed on the second team. That's how good the Eagles are, right?
Wow.
That's how good the Eagles defense.
Can you say Nick Sirianni for Coach of the Year?
And more, you guys are starting to come to my side.
No, look, I love the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to win the NFC East and maybe even represent. No, I don't think they're going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Because I still think the Rams are the team to beat there.
There's two teams in the NFC Championship.
But I just, it wouldn't shock me if the Lions beat the Bills either. I mean, I do think that's the only automatic loss on the schedule.
Yeah. But we can't keep throwing out these like, oh man, that'd be cool if that happens. And I think you gotta give me something behind why it's gonna happen.
Sometimes they just happen. Sometimes, especially it's not who you play, it's when you play them.
Right.
And I think just in the opener, all the emotions of an opener on one side, and I think maybe with the Eagles, the pressure of being the team to beat, I don't know how they're going to respond to that. We've seen it's easy for teams to play when they're under the radar and nobody's thinking about them. But now they went out and they got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They went out and they got A.J. Brown. They drafted Devontae Smith. They had a great
Jordan
draft.
Davis.
You got Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. I mean, they've done all these things to only add to the fuel. I mean, the pressure on the Eagles to win a Super Bowl is now.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how they're going to react to that in week 1. Maybe in week 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they're running on all cylinders. But it's a new coach. They're on the road.
Same
the
offense.
Expectations. I don't know. I just think
Same
they're ripe for
offense,
the
though.
pickings.
They ran the same money. They ran this offense last year. Like, at the same time, I'm looking at it from this standpoint. Last year, they made it to the playoffs. They barely made it to the playoffs, and they were as good as they could be. They become better. And I look at it from this standpoint. It's not about the pressure on offense. It's not about the pressure on defense. It's about one guy. It's about their quarterback. It's about a guy that wants to be better than he was last year. They made it to the playoffs last year with Jalen Hurts being a shell of what he can be in this NFL. They didn't go draft a quarterback because they believe in Jalen Hurts. They believe in what he can do. So just looking at everything they added around him, and now him with this is his 3rd year, but really his 2nd year, him knowing what's achievable, him knowing what's attainable, he's always been a good leader. I'm telling you, they're going to be a damn good team.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I agree with you they're going to be a damn good team. I guess what I'm saying is the team...
It's going to take them a second to do it?
Well, maybe. And I don't even know if that's the case. I just think the team that has more talent doesn't always win on that particular day. Otherwise, the favorites would win every week.
This is true.
And we see underdogs win all the time.
And the Lions aren't usually on that side of underdogs that are winning, though.
Exactly.
So the way I look at it, if you're telling me the Eagles versus the Cowboys week 1 on the road at Jerry's World, I get everything you said. You know what? They are trying to put it together. They are trying to figure it out. And they will eventually figure it out. Maybe they'll take week 5, week 4, week 3. But dang, it is the Cowboys. It is a interdivisional rival. But you're talking about the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, and again, I think this is a better version of the Lions as we've seen in a long time.
It's a better version of the Eagles.
Again, why do I think the Lions are going to beat the Eagles?
Because you hope so.
I mean, I hope so. But again, if the team that had more talent won every week, Vegas wouldn't have all those pretty buildings.
Correct.
We're going to take a break, come right back, do a lot more of NFL talk. We'll go around the league, what's happening today, but first a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
In Hamtramck, Chris Hunt invented the game of football and bowling called Foaling. I don't know why Hard Knocks has not gone there yet. We got to talk to Pat Harris.
Well, the Lions
get
have
him
to
there.
go there first.
Got to get him there. Let's go. Even the NFL crew could get there. 2 ways to play, $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation, 10 or 12 of your closest friends or family. You can have the lane for 2 hours and run you $120. Any drink you want, over 100 beers to offer, the $2 mystery beer machine. Bring your own food in or even have it delivered. Get going right now. Get there. Get your Foal on. Check them out at FoalingWarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait. It's 2 for $4. Got to double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The Bacon Blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, what will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
We are live from the Planet Fitness Studios, which is the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where you can work in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere with membership starting at only $10 a month.
Only $10?
Only $10, or you can get the Black Card membership for $24.99 per month. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential. All right, gang, let's go around the NFL news and notes happening today.
Ready to roll?
Let's do it.
Let's rock and roll, brother. You got the con, as they say, on the
Yes, sir.
battleships.
John Gruden yesterday spoke for the first time. He was at the Arkansas Razorbacks. I don't know what kind of club it was, but he was talking a little football and how much back in the day he wouldn't have minded having that Arkansas job. He also said, listen, man, I'm a good guy. Give me another chance. Ryan, you can read it.
He says, here's the quote. I go to church. I've been married for 31 years. Got 3 great boys. I still love football. I made some mistakes, but I don't think anybody in here hasn't. And I just ask for forgiveness, and I hopefully get another shot. That is John Gruden. Look, I don't begrudge the guy for saying, look, I'm sorry. I take accountability, and I hope I get a shot. Now, whether he does or doesn't get a shot, that's up to somebody else. Yeah. But, we all do. I'm not going to say, I don't know John Gruden, so I don't know. I've never met him. I don't know. And we always talk about these guys that we see on TV like we know them. Yeah. I don't know John Gruden. Hear from Adam. You know what I mean? But all you can do, look, he apologized, asked for forgiveness. That's crisis management 101 and 102. And he hopes he gets another shot. Nothing wrong there. Will he? That's up to somebody else.
Yeah, like what I would say in situations like this, look, nobody's perfect. I made my fair share of mistakes. I've asked for forgiveness. Sometimes I've been forgiven. Sometimes I haven't. It is what it is. But I've asked for the forgiveness, and I'm moving forward. Same thing he did. The only thing I don't like is the piece that comes before when somebody has to give you an example. Like when they give you an example about things to prove that they're a good person, it always creates a question mark in my head. Like if someone just says, look, you know what? At my core, I'm a good person. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. It happens. Please forgive me. I'll get a second shot. If not, the hell with all you. Got enough money. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But when you got to start saying like, look, man, I go to church. You know how many demons are in church? I got 3 boys. You know how many people with kids are terrible parents or terrible people? Well, I've been married 31 years. A lot of guys have been married 40 years and they've been doing a lot of dirt behind their wives' back. So I don't need these examples about what you believe or perceive to make you a good person. Because when you got to start lobbying, I'm not a racist, I got a black friend. Starts to scratch head and say, well, I don't need the example. Just say, look, I effed up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. I want forgiveness, and if that's good enough, it's good enough. And if it's not, you know what? I make my peace with it.
Right.
Don't give me these examples, because then I start. Why do I need examples if you're just a good person?
Well, that's how I try to end arguments with my wife. Hey, I'm a good guy.
You say that a lot, actually.
I'm a good guy.
I'm a good person.
I'm a good person.
But he just leaves it at that, though. Like, Maz doesn't say anything behind it. He doesn't talk about why he's a good person. He's always saying, look, man, I'm a good guy. I'm a good person. That's enough for me.
That's a true statement, yeah.
I don't know what else I could say about myself except that.
Well, we know that to be true.
We know that to be true because we know you.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Malik Willis has won the backup quarterback job for the Titans. The Tennessee Titans released their former backup today. And he's had a hell of a preseason. And Brian Baldinger went on for about 5 minutes today on NFL Network about him. And so did quite a number of other folks in the last few weeks. Now, I put something like that out on Twitter. And Adam, of course, goes on with Jeff and makes fun of me and you.
Right.
And he right away says, these idiots wanted to pick this guy with the second pick. Listen, enough of this crap. We already said, you were fine. You got your defensive guy. Congratulations. We said you need a quarterback. We said take a effing quarterback.
Right.
They didn't. They kept passing on him, and then he goes to the Titans. And he's going to be a special quarterback. I don't give a damn what any of you tell me. I'll just wait and watch, and you guys are going to be kissing my ass.
Here we go. Now, when it comes to Adam Beydoun, unless he's talking about hookah or curse words, don't listen to him, okay, man? Don't listen to the guy. But as it relates to Malik Willis, this is my thoughts on that. We didn't take him first but everybody was clamoring to take him second. Once he got past our second pick, everybody was upset that we didn't draft him or why he didn't draft him, or a couple people were upset. Now there's people like, oh, look at him, see? Look what he's doing out there in Tennessee. He's out there balling. He would have been good here. Wouldn't have been a good fit, and I'm going to tell you why. Malik Willis has done nothing special in camp. Nothing special during the preseason that has made me change my mind about him. His mechanics still look awful. Yes, he can run. I'm not drafting a
He's a kid.
I understand that. He is a kid. But how many of these kids are starting right away? And we're not complaining about their mechanics like that. Complaining about his mechanics, still the same thing. Still doesn't look NFL ready. Now the running part, congratulations, he can run. I'm not hiring Barry Sanders. I'm looking for a quarterback. If you would have brought him here with the second pick, okay, we would have had him in the second pick. He would have been on the team. He would have been the most amazing thing in preseason. He would have been the most amazing thing on Hard Knocks. His story would have been the best. He would have been electric. He would have been fun. The first time the Lions lose 3-4 games, what's going to start to happen? They're going to clamor to bring him in, and he still wouldn't be ready. And then if he's sitting on the bench, now if Jared Goff makes it through the season, now you got to ask yourself, are you going to, if we have a bad season, are you going to draft a quarterback next year? No, because what you're going to tell yourself, oh, no, we have Malik Willis. So then it becomes a wasted pick. I'm happy that Malik Willis isn't here, but not because I don't want him. I'm happy because it would create a lot of confusion if the Lions aren't good and what to do with the pick next year. So I like him in Tennessee.
Can you guys humor me for 1 minute with a hypothetical?
Yeah.
Okay. Go back to the 2018 draft.
Yeah.
Let's say we're in New York doing sports radio, and the Giants have the number 2 pick. And we're all sitting there, oh, man, you got to take Lamar Jackson number 2. This kid is going to be the real deal. Lamar Jackson, take him number 2. And he doesn't go till 32.
Right.
And then all throughout training camp, Lamar Jackson looks pretty good over there at the 32nd pick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but these idiots, they wanted to take him at 2.
Right.
They don't know what they're talking about. They wanted to take him at 2.
Yeah.
If the draft was taken today, Lamar Jackson, if the 2018 draft was redone today, Lamar Jackson would be the number 1 pick of the draft. I guess what I'm telling you is when it's all said and done, 3-4 years from, not when it's all said and done, in 3 or 4 years, when people look back and say, if you redid the 2022 NFL draft, Malik Willis would be a top 5 pick. That's what I'm saying.
And 2 years ago, Justin Herbert would be number 1.
And 2 years ago, Justin Herbert would be number 1. So for all this, I can't go back and say that, yeah, maybe it was a bad take to you. But 3 or 4 years from now, and I can't prove this today,
right?
But 3 or 4 years from now, when you redraft the 2022 NFL draft, Malik Willis is going to be a top 5 pick.
So 2 things. One, that's not a fair comparison because Lamar Jackson won the Heisman in college. If Lamar Jackson, let's call it spade a spade. If Lamar Jackson was white, he'd been number 1 pick in the draft.
It was a hypothetical.
No,
I'm
on your team. I'm about to lobby.
Very good.
I'm about to lobby on your team. So it's hard to do that hypothetical, but I agree with you. I think when a couple years have passed, when he's had some years or a year to sit, to learn, to watch film, to get tutelage, to learn from Ryan Tannehill, kind of follow and see what's going on, I think he will be a star in this league. I think he will be damn good in this league. And I think he'll be able to come back and say, he should have been this. I only simply was saying, from my standpoint, that I wouldn't have wanted to draft the number 2 because I think it would have created more of a problem, especially with the fan base, versus yelling or clamoring for him over Goff. And what do you do next year if the team is 4 and 13? What do you do with the draft pick? You got Malik Willis. Do you draft another quarterback? I thought for the Lions standpoint of where they were situated, I didn't think it was a good pick in the second round. Now, I would have chosen him over Pascal, but that's neither here nor there. I'm saying from that standpoint, I think he went to a good spot in the Tennessee Titans. That's all I said.
Good luck, Malik. Good luck, Tennessee. All right, let's move on.
Can we do this part 2 coming up next? I
don't see why not.
I got to get a break. Let's come right back. More NFL. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Come on in to Les Stanford, located on Michigan Avenue in the great city of Dearborn. You want a Cadillac? Cadillac's on the lot right now. You can drive off today. Of course, allocation coming in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. Also, over 300 pre-owned cars on their lot. All makes, all models, all years. Some with less than 500 miles on them. So they're like brand new. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
at work, and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. It's football season. You guys got to make sure you come check us out at 4:30 at the Woodward Bets YouTube page. We talk fantasy sports. We talk sports betting. All kinds of fun stuff. So, hey, you guys got to come check it out. You also got to get over to that app store and check out oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, the best place to check all the odds of sports books right in the palm of your hand. But, hey, we don't have any football, so we're going to bet on some baseball. We got some fun coupons we got to get. Listen, I'm rolling with the Mariners today. We know the Tigers stink. Tyler Alexander's been struggling. 21 hits, 14 earned runs his last 13 innings. We'll go with the Mariners. Oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports. Detroit's winning sports network.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up, Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
All right, Maz, continue on.
All right, inside the NFL, let's keep rolling on in. How about the Bengals? The defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals signed former first-round pick, the tight end, your guy, Braylon. O.J. Howard.
I tweeted this out to Adam Baydoun, Speak of the Devil, yesterday and got nothing back. It's a guy that I followed when he was at Alabama. I mean, he talking about a guy that has the most yards and the most touchdowns in terms of a career in national championship games. Sometimes you get lost in the shuffle. They draft him out there. He plays with famous Jameis. Your guy, Jameis, throws a ton of interceptions. He throws 30 interceptions that year they draft him. You don't know how that played effect into what he was doing. He got injured. You don't know if this was Tom's guy. Tom brought in his boy, Gronkowski. He had Cameron Brate as well. So it's a guy that didn't get snaps in Tom's offense. He goes to Buffalo, doesn't make the team. They got a slew of wide receivers, and then they got a young tight end in Knox, who's pretty good, as you saw in the playoffs last year. So sometimes guys like that, you just need to give it a chance. You need to be in the right scenario, the right situation. And I thought this could have been a good situation. You see the direction that the Lions are moving in from a coaching standpoint. Like, they're on their guys. You see Deuce Staley getting on DeAndre Swift's ass all the time. Aaron Glenn getting on the defense. You see everybody getting after their guys. I think maybe that's something that he might have needed, and I thought this could be a good spot. Hell, they kept 4 tight ends, and 3 of them I don't even know their names. So I thought it could have been a good spot.
All right, how about Ndamukong Suh?
Is he still out there?
He's out there. Wow. He's trying to pick his team. Look who he likes. He likes the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
That'd be a hell of a
that's what a quarterback does for you, man. One guy can change the entire course of your franchise. I mean, Cleveland is, one of the laughing stocks of the NFL. And you get a guy in Deshaun Watson, you believe he's going to be there week 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then ultimately in the playoffs. I mean, if I'm in Ndamukong Suh, though, I'm kind of sitting tight for the first month of the season. First month, 6 weeks of the season. And you come in fresh and you go to a contender. What do you want to be doing playing on Cleveland if Cleveland starts out the year, 2-6 or something like that, and the season's over?
But the only thing about that, Ryan, is especially as you get older, as you become a big guy, he's no spring chicken. And Ndamukong Suh was drafted in 2010. Like, the longer you sit at home when the season started, you can't imitate game shape.
Yeah,
you can't imitate being out there. You can't imitate the practices that happen on Monday and Wednesday and Thursday and the light practices on Friday. Like, you're sitting at the house, especially as an older guy. Somebody calls you in November. Everybody can't be Eric Weddle. And what Eric Weddle did last year for the Rams at safety, coming up
for like 3 weeks.
He was a high school coach. Came in, got a ring, and went back to coaching. Shout out to Eric Weddle, hell of a player, by the way. But you got to be somewhere, and that's what he's thinking. And he's looking at it. What defensive line can I fit in well? Well, next to Myles Garrett, next to Jadeveon Clowney, next to Malik. Well, that's a mean defensive line. And he knows that Deshaun Watson's going to be in there at some point. He knows the offense has enough to maybe sustain. So all he's got to be there for, Ryan, is what's now? It's September tomorrow or September today. He's got to be there from now till hopefully February if things go right, and then he can go right back to Florida, right back to Nebraska, right back to Miami, wherever he makes his home. That's not a long time to get
Odell's still out there too, isn't he?
He's still hurt.
He just tore his ACL.
Yeah.
You're talking
Super
about
Bowl, February.
Just happened in February. It's the second year in a row that he's torn his ACL. So, like I told you, he won't be. When you asked that, what team will he be on? I said he'll either be on no team or he'll be on the Rams in January.
All right, the Browns. You know who they play week 1? They play Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. Baker Mayfield's got a little something for the Browns.
What's he got?
Take a look at what he's got for the Browns.
I'm going to F them up. I love that. That is awesome.
Now, we know this is for real, for real?
Yeah, that's for real.
You got before. This is legit?
That's legit.
Okay, we've checked it. We've sourced
It's been around for 3 days.
I'm just messing with you. I just want to comment first. I love it.
Yep.
I love that.
I love it. That's
Absolutely
why you wanted to have
love
him here. Like, he's a Dan Campbell type guy. I love that. Because he's serious. He went through a lot there, and both parties had stuff to do with it. The front office of the Cleveland Browns, they were negligent and horrible. Baker Mayfield was a spoiled brat. They both have equal parts in the failure of Baker Mayfield with that team. But I'm always on the side of the player. Bless you, Flannel Sam. I think Baker Mayfield is going to go in there and drop a deuce on him.
I don't think Carolina is going to be as bad as maybe people like me anticipate them to be. I think they've got some things going on over there.
They got J.C. Horn back this year, who you can arguably say was the best player in the top 10 last year. J.C. Horn only played 3 games last year, had a pick in game 1, a fumble recovery in game 3 before he got hurt. So J.C. Horn for them at the quarterback.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. They got that Chenault Jr. from Jacksonville in a trade recently. I mean, they got some decent players on their team.
And keep in mind, CMC, as he's called, Christian McCaffrey, CMC Music Factory. What you know about that?
I do.
But CMC, as he called, is going #1 in most people's PPR fantasy leagues.
Wow.
So that tells you what they think about him. So that could be another loss for your Detroit Lions.
Could be.
Man.
Hey, last one for you today. The Lions, we always complain about their draft picks. At least I do. They're not the only team that whiffs on high draft picks. Let's look first at the New England Patriots. And I gave you the list, Ryan.
Okay.
Take a look at the list. This is the Patriots. Let's go over what they have left from their last few drafts.
The New England Patriots have cut 2 first-rounders, 3 first-rounders. The New England Patriots have cut 3 first-rounders, 4 second-rounders, and 6 third-rounders.
Isn't that something?
Why do they even draft people at all?
Isn't that something?
New England. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the shine to me has come off of Bill Belichick. It really has. They haven't won a playoff game in 5 years. Something crazy like that. He lost his coordinators.
I agree with you.
I think at some point it falls off. Like at some point it don't work for the guys anymore, especially for the guys that haven't won. Right. When you're Bill Belichick and you're doing all that Patriot way stuff that doesn't work anywhere other than New England, the only reason it works in New England is because they've won there. But now that they haven't won, these guys don't know what winning is like.
The word you were looking for was Tom Brady. That was Tom Brady, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why it worked was Tom Brady, 100%. He was able to keep that glue because everybody talks about it. Everybody that's ever been a high pick, everybody that's ever been a high free agent that has gone to New England or a high draft pick that's gone to New England. The one thing they said when Tom was there was like, he talked to Tom that way. And I ain't Tom Brady, so who am I to challenge? Well, you no longer have that Tom Brady, Ryan, and you're absolutely correct. But what you do still have, and you always will have, Bill Belichick knows a thing or two, or 7, or 9, or 11, however many rings he got, about the defensive side of the ball. And the only reason that they were what they were last year is because of that defensive side of the ball.
By the way, Sony Michel was picked up today by, was it?
Chargers.
The Chargers, thank you.
Another Georgia running back that has struggled.
And how about the Vikings? Ryan, tell us a little about the Minnesota Vikings draft from last year.
11 picks last year in the NFL draft. 6 of them were cut today
Isn't
or
that
yesterday.
Something?
And that's, to me, that's a regime.
Yeah.
That's a general manager and a coach doing it differently than the previous staff. I mean, the way they want to play, maybe a certain defense how they want to play. You know, you play a 4-3, and the guy before you played a 3-4.
Yeah,
I mean, you're getting rid of those guys.
But you got to look at that Minnesota Vikings offense last year. Last year they were winning in 16 out of 17 games in the fourth quarter at some point, and they ended up only winning 9 games last year. So when you look at that from a new head coach, a guy in Kevin O'Connell who's an offensive-minded coach, he's the offensive coordinator from the Rams. You're like, I got offense.
Yeah.
These guys got talents. They can score points. They can be in games. Let's figure out the defense. And that's why you notice in the draft, they went after a lot of secondary players. Lewis Sine from Georgia was one of them. They went against, I can't think of the guy's name, from Booth Jr. from Clemson. Went against a lot of defenses, especially in the secondary. So they're trying to revamp this defense because they could have been a much better team last year before, but Zimmer couldn't get it done. Talking about Coach Zimmer.
They couldn't close games. First half or second half.
Guys, I want to touch on a little college football. Next segment, Coach Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. I want to let you know what his team rules are. Very important stuff.
I love it.
And I want to tell you a little bit about the Tigers. I was there last night.
Oh, Lord.
I just want to tell you how the place felt.
I'd like to hear that, actually.
Yes.
Because I'd like to hear that, actually.
Didn't Cody Clemens pitch again for the 4th time?
I was gone by then.
Oh, my God.
Hey, look, I blew it.
Did he really?
I blew it. 4th time
but first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts.
That's you,
Why am
buddy.
I wearing a hat today? Because I need a haircut. I haven't gotten one yet. I'm getting one tomorrow at 1 o'clock with my main girl, Becca, over here at 15 in Woodward. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning experience. Several locations throughout the Metro Detroit area, several more around the country. Register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the car of your dreams from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Boom.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best bets from multiple sportsbooks. That's right. Let me repeat that one more. The best bets from multiple sportsbooks. For your best bet, go to OddsTrader.com.
There it is. Matt, do you want to hit Tigers first? Or do you want me to? Yeah, you hit the Tigers first.
I went to the game last night. I was invited by my good buddy, Ethan.
Hey, Ethan.
Hey, what up, Ethan?
He's got half-season tickets, and he's in the upper deck, but he's right behind home plate, first row. The great seats. And we could sit anywhere because there's nobody there.
Wow.
Take a look at that. That was at the beginning of the game.
I stole that picture, too, by the
I
way.
walked in. I saw that. I walked in, and guess what else wasn't working? The PA
the
system.
bats.
What?
The PA system was down.
Was the bats working?
We sang the national anthem as a crowd.
Get out of here.
All five of you?
Yeah, all 5 of us sang. It wasn't very good, but we did get it out. And by the time the Tigers were ready to be introduced, he got like maybe 4 players introduced. It came back on. It was Polish night, too. Polish American night.
Oh, my God.
And it was just, I felt, it was
eerie.
I just drove in.
Looks like the Alameda Oakland Coliseum.
I just drove in like it was nothing. Parked like it was nothing. Walked in like it was nothing. I went, first thing I want an ice cream cone. So I went to the Big Cat Court.
Was it free?
I went in. The kid made me a hell of a cone, by the way. He gave me like a triple scoop, this guy. I was the only guy in line.
What time do the Tigers play tomorrow?
They play they played at 7 last night.
I know. I wish they played at 7 tomorrow.
They might.
I'd take the kids down there.
You should. I thought of you last night.
I know.
I'm like, Ryan should be
I
here.
know, but I would have, but I had no power. It was
Even more.
a crazy.
Even more.
I know. It was a crazy out of my sorts.
I
Damn
really
it, a
did
1 o'clock game tomorrow.
I really did think about that of you.
Darn it.
No lines. It was almost like a dream. Like,
I might take him to see Houston Tuesday, September 13th.
Why don't you take over this segment?
Sorry.
That's okay. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good.
He did ask you to talk, and then he's been talking over you.
Sorry, Maz.
It's okay. I'm done. I watched the ball game.
How was your ice cream?
It was great. It was 9-0 in the
Yeah,
third.
vanilla or chocolate?
I had Mackinac Island fudge with a little chocolate on top. He gave me a little of it each.
How much you pay for it?
$6. Waffle cone.
It's crazy.
It was the best $6 I ever spent at Comerica. The best. Okay? I sat there.
How was Ethan's time?
Ethan had a good time. He brought little Cole with him. His wife Megan. It's a great time.
When did you leave?
I left I don't even remember what inning it was. I think it was 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, I've had enough. I'm going to go home. It was beautiful out. I could have sat there all day.
Did Miguel Cabrera play?
Yeah, he did. He got a single, and they actually threw over to first to keep him near first base. The 10 people that were there booed, of course. I just want to tell you, there's nothing sadder than seeing an empty ballpark to me. Mm-hmm. While 2 professional teams, one of them in the playoff hunt, are playing against each other. It's disgraceful what happened last night. 9-0.
It was 7-0 after the first 2 innings, right?
9-0, man. It's a joke.
So you said Miguel had a hit yesterday. If I'm correct, I was listening to it in the car.
Yeah,
was it like a rocket and it went through the guy's glove?
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was like a rocket.
I think I was licking my ice cream cone at that time. I'm just saying, it's so sad. Then I came home and I put on the TV and watched another ball game where it was exciting. And it's like being at not even a minor league park. It's like being at a high school game, going to a Tiger game now. And it sucks. It sucks. That's all. That's all I got.
How the Seattle Mariners and the Baltimore Orioles?
Because they did it right. They picked the right players.
Yeah.
That's all. And we didn't.
Sneak into the playoffs?
I mean, how have they turned it around and we're sitting here
because
with
we don't know what the F we're
fans
doing
on a Tuesday
That's
night?
why.
Meanwhile, they got a guy who I love, man, Rodriguez, and he just got paid, like Johnny Kim.
I want to save my Dion rules for tomorrow.
It just sickened me. That's all. I'm sorry. I had to get it off my chest.
It's a depressing way to end the show.
I didn't mean to.
I know.
Look at
It
tonight.
is depressing.
I might go back down tonight.
So I was
How's
thinking
that
about.
sound?
No, look, I understand. It's depressing because I was thinking last night. I thought about this last night. I've not watched a Tigers game in a month. There's nobody that interests me.
Why are you watching it?
There's no reason to watch a Tigers game. There's nothing I'm going to learn about this team that I don't already know. There's nothing that
It's the most devoid talent.
Yeah.
There's no talent on this team.
You hope Riley Green turns into that guy, but that's hope.
I hope.
Because I'm not confident in who they have to help develop them. You know what I mean? Currently constructed, I'm not confident that the Tigers organization has somebody down helping Spencer Torkelson right now. Who's helping that guy?
You think you're ever going to see Austin Meadows again in a Tigers uniform?
Who knows?
No,
maybe
you're not.
Parker Meadows, maybe?
Maybe.
I mean,
I saw the kid Kerry Carpenter. He had 2 home runs a couple of weeks ago. He's still sitting on 2 home runs. He's the minor league leader in home runs. I mean, to see, what's his name come up, our shortstop? Javi Baez. With 11 home runs and his 210 batting average.
He's up to 210.
210. There's so
Congrats.
I can't. Every time I look at the scoreboard, guys hitting 200, 202, 225. 11 homers leads the team.
Well,
it's pathetic.
Javi's leading the team?
Yes.
Or Castro?
12 homers.
What Castro are you talking about?
Jamer Candelario.
Dude, Jamer Candelario Oh, my God. 12 home runs leads a Major League Baseball team.
Okay, there you go.
And 47 RBIs leads a Major League Baseball team.
There's
224.
33 games to go.
I have to send a tweet about this.
Bro, they are
is
50
embarrassing.
and 79. 50 and 79.
At least they got to 50.
My God.
Wasn't looking good for a minute.
So what are they going to do in the next 33 games? Give me their record.
Here's one I got for you, Ryan. You ready for your tweet? Aaron Judge has more home runs than the Tigers have wins.
Yes,
Book it.
that's a fact.
God.
In September, book that. I don't think that's ever happened before.
I don't think it's ever happened where a Major League team, their leader in batting average is hitting 224. I can't imagine that ever happening in the history of sport.
We need to just come up with a bunch of things that they're doing that's never been done. Because I think I can add that to Aaron Judge having more home runs than they have wins. Add that to where you already did the batting average. Lee home runs is 12.
Oh my gosh.
We could just do a stacked.
Hey, it's 4 o'clock, everybody, here on the East Coast.
I don't know about you.
Or in the city of Detroit, Eastern time zone. That means our time is up. Thanks to everybody for watching. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports Network. And again, we'll never talk Tigers again until there's actual news about them.
Especially not at the end.
Yeah, especially not at the end. Now we've totally depressed me for the rest of the night. Ermanni Edwards with Maz.
Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good night.
Do I just go? I'm not going to drop. Go. All right. Go ahead.
2, 1.
Oh, my God. Go. Oh, jeez. Oh, my. Oh. This isn't right. I don't get paid enough for this.